Okay, I'm going to show you a very quick, simple dish with using a fillet of pork. We're going to stir fry it. Fillet of pork is something that's really very underused in my opinion. It's a cheap enough cut of meat. It's not very expensive. It cooks very quickly, and if you treat it correctly, it's going to stay nice and tender and really moist. So just trimming away any of the excess fat, and we're just going to cut it into little pieces, so straight down the middle, and we're going to cut it into slivers, just like that. So that's going to help it really cook very, very fast. We're going to cook it in a wok, sort of flash fry it, and it's going to be cooked in a couple of minutes. Some lovely fragrant ginger in there, just like that. Now to prepare the ginger, instead of using a knife, I'm going to use a spoon. A little tip for you: if you just scrape around the outside, what this does is means you're not going to waste very much ginger. So you're just taking off the absolute bare minimum, that skin. And secondly, all the nutrients are just underneath the skin of ginger. It's got a lot of sort of health properties to it, so we want to make sure that we don't lose any of those. So just take those last little pieces off. Now I'm going to be quite sort of heavy and generous with the ginger in this recipe, because it really works well with pork, and I'm also going to cut it into fairly big pieces, so you can see there, although they're large in surface area, which means there's going to be loads of flavour out of it, they're really quite thin. So just take your time with the knife and get lovely even slices. I've also got a red chilli just to give it that little bit of bite. It's another one of these dishes that you can sort of rattle together in a few minutes when you get home from work. It's going to literally take about 4 or 5 minutes to prep, and then we're going to cook it on this amazing induction wok that we've got today. It's a very new product, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that now in a second. So garlic, just give it a little whack, and the skin should come off in one easy motion. And we're just going to slice that up again nice and thin. So to start off, a little bit of olive oil. And as soon as that gets hot, we want a really nice hot temperature. We go in with our aromatic ingredients. So that's the ginger, the garlic, and the chili. So just keep that moving around. Now, before that starts to burn or take in too much colour, in goes our pork. At this stage, we're also going to season it with a generous amount of salt. Now, a couple of ingredients that we're just going to add in are some mange tous. You could use sugar snaps at this stage. And I really want to throw all these vegetables in at the last minute, because one of the best things about a stir fry is having that lovely crunchiness to it. So just move your pork. You can see how fast that's cooking. The ginger in there is giving it an absolutely gorgeous aroma. I'm also at the same time going to prep some broccoli. So just a little, tiny little florets. So you're just trimming them down like that. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm not going to boil the broccoli or anything. I'm just going to sort of cook it really fast. Another cool thing about using induction is not only does it not heat up the whole room, but it also cools down nearly as quickly as it heated up. So that's starting to brown up. The key with the pork is obviously not to overcook it. So in those go. I'm also using some asparagus. It's those lovely little thin ones. If you want a cool tip to see if asparagus are fresh or not, just break it. You really want to hear a little crisp snap. So roughly chopped asparagus. Keep the little heads intact because they're nice and pretty. In they go. And just move it all around again. You can see those lovely bright colours in there, gorgeous. Now at this stage I'm going to add in a little bit of soy sauce. Now what happens is before you had all the dry heat in there sort of cooking and it was browning off and you were getting lovely flavour. Now that the soy sauce has hit it, it's created a lot of steam. So you're going to find that it's going to cook even faster. And you can see all the way around the outside because of that lovely induction wok holder. There's loads of heat in there. Absolutely perfect for stir frying. Now just to finish it off, a couple of last touches. In with some bean sprouts and some coriander. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to chop it, I'm just going to pick off some leaves. And I think the more dishes that you can find like this that are ready in sort of 4 or 5 minutes that you can add to your repertoire and make when you get home from work, if you've got a couple of spare hours at lunchtime and you want to knock something together, the better. It really is. This is a perfect one for simple, quick to make, very, very tasty. And that is just about it. You really don't want to overcook that pork. And we're just going to plate it up. I'm going to turn my induction off. And as I said, absolutely no heat rising off that. It's quite an amazing and cool tool. Now, just onto the plate that goes. Everything's nice and crunchy in there. The pork's going to be lovely and moist. You've got yourself an absolute treat there. It's pork with ginger and crispy vegetables.